This is one of the offices of Dr. Quinn, Mariotti, and Angelo Orthodontics in Clark Summit. They are leading the way in creating a healthy environment, not only through patient treatment, but the environment in which the patients are treated. Well, here we are in the waiting room of Quinn, Mariotti, and Angelo Orthodontics. And I'd like you to meet Laura Gillette. She is the architect responsible for this wonderful building. Laura, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Now tell us, what was the inspiration for going green here at the orthodontics office?
Not only is green the right thing to do, but it's a movement that's on its way up and it's really in full effect. And the doctors felt as though it was the right time, the right place, and the right space to do it in. They were really encouraged and influenced by Janie Quinn's book, Essential Environments. All we're trying to do with green buildings is make the space and the environment safer, cleaner, and more pleasant. Really eliminate any of the, we'll say, bad environments within a space.
So why don't you share with us some of the features here that make this green?
Okay, well here in the waiting room, the carpeting itself is a carpet made by Interface, and it's made purely of recycled products. It's a carpet tile, so if something does get damaged, the pieces can come out and we can replace just a small portion instead of replacing the whole space.
And then that would be stuck in the landfill, right?
Exactly, exactly. So not only is it made of recycled products, but the adhesives are much more environmentally friendly and less toxic, we'll say, for the occupants. The main concept behind this space was natural light. This was a reused building, and there were a couple skylights in the roof here, but we redid those and punched a couple more holes and made the space more natural light, put in a new entryway that brought more natural light in. And the artificial lighting that we do have for on those dark days or in these early evenings, we have energy efficient bulbs that last up to 7 years. We used a low VOC, low emitting paint made by Sherwin-Williams.
And I understand that according to the orthodontist publication that you have here, that this is something that they're really pushing.
It is. In a recent edition put out by the American Journal of Orthodontics, they did an editorial on turning your practice green, and the doctors here are kind of ahead of the game. Not only did they do it in the building, but equally as important, they did it in their practice and for their patients. The medical profession is one of the best places to start.
Great. Well, thank you, Laura. And I think now we're going to take a look at some other green features of the building.
Sounds great.
And now I'd like you to meet Dr. Quinn. Doctor, this office is spectacular, and I know that you have put a lot of thought into it to make it green, not only for the employees here, but for the patients and for the environment. So I know you want to share with us some of the other features.
Yeah, Jackie, we're really excited about this office because we've made this office totally green, which is really exciting for me, being in this practice for quite a while. Having a setting where there, as you noticed in the office, there's no smell in here. Everything, we've tried to reduce all of our chemicals, we've tried to reduce any cements. So when you look at this office, the floor is made of cork, our surfaces are made of Corian, we have almost no formica in the building whatsoever. We use all wood products surrounding the windows. We have solar shades that help with keeping the heat out in the summer. The air is filtered, the water is filtered. Because we have put these windows in, we have a lot more light coming into the building. So really it's a very delightful spot for us to work in and for the patients to be in.
And I know that also, in addition to the facility being green, you're also incorporating that into the treatment of the patients.
Well, what's happened in orthodontics is that we've moved from, if you remember way back when probably if you had braces, we used to have bands around the teeth.
Yes.
They were pretty painful to get on.
Yes.
The wires, we used to have to bend all the little springs and bends on the wires were very difficult. Now we have little tiny brackets that go on the face of the tooth with a little adhesive, and then wires that are very sophisticated and actually act by the heat of the body, activates the wire, so it's much more gentle and works over a period of time, so we don't see the patient as often. So we used to have to see patients every 3 to 4 weeks. We're now up to 8 to 10 weeks between appointments that we can see patients. It saves them time. We don't use as much gas coming in. People's time is important. So we're trying to be as efficient as we can at the same time keep my space healthy for me as well as for the patients. So we've moved not only to that way, but we've moved also into soap products that are biodegradable. We have toothpastes that are very healthy. We don't have toothpaste that have a lot of chemicals in them. We have no chemicals in our sterilization, or very limited. We used to have bulky machines to clean instruments that were filled with chemicals. And we've been able to move to a new system where the instruments are washed Then they're put on an ultrasound to take off any material on the instrument itself, and then moved from that into a sterilization unit, which is very small. This is a very small unit, and the sterilization is done by heat instead of chemicals. So there's no vaporization of the chemicals into the air that we're breathing, and the instruments themselves are very sterile, good for the patients, good for the doctors, good for our environment. Okay, Jackie, I want to show you our new digital x-ray machine, which is pretty interesting. It's a West German machine that is completely digital and reduces the x-ray that a patient has by more than half, which is terrific. We have two of my staff here, Barb and Sandy, and they're going to show you how a patient is set up on this. That has saved a tremendous amount of time and effort for us to have not to send patients out and reduce the x-ray, which is terrific. On top of that, if you remember, when you used to get an x-ray taken, it was actually x-ray that was taken out and then put into a solution of silver. Then it was dried off, and all that solution was hard to get rid of. It was a chemical solution that had to be disposed of, and very difficult to do. We now go directly from this machine into the computer itself. So there is no piece of paper. It is now directly on this little screen, and we can just look at the x-ray immediately.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Quinn. This has been very educational.
Well, Jackie, thanks for being here. We're excited about this office. We're thrilled to have you come out and visit us, and so thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome.
Okay.